You're watching 24/7 Live Culture.
For coming to the Future of a Leader, Future Leaders of America Forum, presented by 24/7 Live Culture. I want you guys to give a big round of applause to yourself. You could be anywhere, but you're here to hear voices and speak about the community that we live in. We wanted to have more Gen Zs in here because it's a disconnect, because we're trying to bridge that gap to a better future.
That's right.
You know, so luckily we have you here to spread the voice. And this is a very important race because it's a lot at stake. And we're not trying to go back to Stone Age times. We're trying to strive for a better freedom for our people and other people as well. I hate when people say, when we say Black Lives Matter, it's like we're talking about we're spitting on other cultures. It's not that. We're trying to be equal to all cultures. And today, tomorrow, November 6th, we're going to voice our opinion and get the rightful person who has their credentials to actually sit in office, not a convicted, felon or something like that of that nature. And a liar. But I remember the last time we was here, an 18-year-old came here and said they would vote for Trump because he's a liar and he's funny. And you want a liar and a comedian to run the country?
No.
So basically, I want to thank you guys for coming again. My name is Adonis, here trying to dive deep into the community and show that there's a better way.
A better way.
All right, so obviously, you guys know my guy Adonis, man. This is my partner in crime. We're co-founders of a platform called 24/7 Live Culture. So Black entertainment media platform that's here to shape the way that the world sees Black culture in a positive way. And through this platform, we've created several avenues to reach the public, whether it's through movies, podcasts, daily news, and being able to come together for events like this. So this is a good talking point because I got involved in, I guess you could say, politics or community involvement because I wanted to bridge the gap between generations. There's a huge difference in how Gen Z, millennials approach politics versus, I guess you can say, the 45 and up generations. We're not as involved in what is going on in our country and in our local city politics and our local city governments. If you go ask any young person, who's even running for, the city councils or what the issues are, 9 times out of 10, they probably don't know. And I used to be one of those people, you know what I mean? So I can speak from experience. So this year was a big opportunity for me and Adonis to be able to try to come together and do something more with the community. What we usually do is entertainment and music. So that's a little bit more appealing, for our age group, So obviously once we start talking about politics or social issues and things like that, it kind of shies people away sometimes, you know what I mean? And we have to have discussions like this and forums like this where we can begin to have certain conversations where we can meet people on a level playing field. So this is the start of it. It doesn't matter who's here. It doesn't matter how many people are here. We're going to continue to put the voice out. We're going to continue to put the opportunities out for people to come and continue to voice what needs to be voiced and share the rightful information regardless. You know what I'm saying? Things take time. And I'm just very grateful for every single soul that's in here that came in here to make a change for America, because this is how it starts. Just being in the seats, right? And there's some dope people that are in this room, today that can start the change that we desire to see. And one of those people is a local actor, Kareem, who plays on one of the most popular shows in the world right now, All American. And he's been very involved here in the Los Angeles community. He grew up here. His mom is obviously a volunteer at this office as well. Happy birthday, Kamala. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope to have our talent that's bred and raised here at home be able to come back and give us some type of words and encourage us and show us what's possible. So I'm gonna bring Kareem up. Go ahead and give this brother a hand.
Who see Kamala as a threat, and she locked up a lot of black and brown men, but at the same time, like you said, in the early '90s, Bill Clinton had the 3-strike law, but they still voted him in the second term. Could you just preach to the young and old black males of knowledge that if you do the crime, you gotta do the time, no matter who it is? We were just talking to Miss George over there, running for judge, you know, so she said she gets some of that same slack that she's locking young black men up. Can you just, just preach to the males?
Yeah, I think, it's a lot, man. Yeah. It is, people have selective amnesia. They want to remember what they want to remember. And sometimes you have to bring those up. To say, okay, like you said, so what about that? What happened when everybody was, loving old Billy Clinton, cigar and playing the saxophone, and now it's just like, oh, now you have a problem with Kamala? And it's just like, and I always ask people this. I say, well, how many people did she lock up? Can you give me the numbers? And I think it was only like 45. I think the guy who was after her locked up more people. Like literally, I think his was like 14 or 1,500. She was only like 45. And you can look that up. And once again, I always tell people, I said, okay, let's talk about this. What facts do you have? And I'll wait for them. And then they'll go into something else. It's like, oh yeah, she locked up this, and then I tell them, I said, okay, let's look at this. So all of the people that she locked up, that you said that she locked up, do you think all of them were innocent? I literally asked him, I was like, do you think they're all innocent? Like give me a number, give me a percentage. How many you think were innocent and how many you think were guilty? They can't answer. And then I say, well, did you vote? Did you vote on those laws? What you talking about? What you talking about and vote on those laws? I didn't know about that. And I said, you didn't know about that, huh? I said, and that's the power of voting. Is that if you can't tell me the laws that were put in place and why these people were locked up, and then I ask you, did you vote? And you can't say anything. I was like, well, then you can't complain. You can't complain at all. So, I have these debates all the time. Literally all the time. And 9 times out of 10, most of the guys say they haven't voted. And then I say, so if you haven't voted, how can you complain about what's going on? You missed the vote. For me, I was told at a very early age through history that my great-great-grandparents and family members who marched were lynched, shot, hosed down, dogs put on them for the right to vote. Like, look at that. It wasn't that long ago. It was like, what, 60-something years ago? It's not that long ago. So you mean to tell me that I'm going to disrespect my great-great-grandmother by not exercising my right to vote? That's like, what's going on? Like, how can you be disrespectful for the people who fought for you to have the right to vote? You know what I mean? And like once I start going into that, into the act in 1964, it starts getting cloudy for them. And then we gotta pull the phones out and we gotta go to Google and you know, I tell them to read it to me. It feels like I'm an Israelite, you know what I'm saying? I start pulling out my phone and say, okay, read the Civil Rights Act, brother. Read it. You know, so but yeah, you know, it's about just being informed, man. And you know, like I said, I think the disconnect is that a lot of people miss civics, you know, and the system that's in place and how bills are brought, you know, and how they're voted on, and you know how you can start voting locally for judges. You know, that's Claude Anderson talking about, you know, economics and voting locally. You know, get the people that are in your community and vote for them. You know, there's actually a video that is viral right now of a white judge, and there's a young man who is in court, and as they're reading off, he's like, yes, I think I was going to buy some marijuana and I crossed the street and the cop pulled me over, pretty much like jaywalking or whatever. And then the guy was like, wait a minute, hold on. you got a ticket for just simply walking across the street? And he was like, no, I'm gonna throw this out. But that is you voting for the judge, you know, and under that I said, and this is why you vote. You know, and I reposted it. This is why you vote, you know, because of situations like this, you know. So yeah, I hope I'm not rambling and I hope I'm making sense, but yeah, it's like I said, it's meeting them where they're at first, and then creating a healthy dialogue. I'm not talking at them, but I just like to raise questions, and then from that question, then we can start to go into the research. And then start looking up things, you know, like I spend some time like, hey brother, we both got phones. You want me to look it up or you want to look it up? I got some time today, you know what I mean? So I think it's about, you know, meeting them where they're at, but also raising the important questions for them to be able to think and say, oh, okay, I didn't think of it that way, you know? Yeah, and I think, yeah, that's pretty much it as far as just, you know, it's your right to vote. You know, why not exercise that? And if you can't vote, then you can't complain about anything that's going on.
Where people don't believe that their vote truly counts. You know, and every single vote matters. Like you said, our ancestors, our great grandmothers, our grandfathers, you know, my family's originally from Mobile, so. You know, to have that type of background, and I know what they went through, you know what I'm saying? It means a lot, you know. So aside from voting, you're also involved in some other measures, such as tech, and you've created apps and whatnot. So talk about your role in tech and how you're looking to connect with the community. And how your business is going to push Black culture forward.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the crazy thing, how I got into tech was, it's that old saying, when you surround yourself with people who are doing things, you get inspired. So how I got inspired was through my guy, Brother Calvin. He created a golfing app because he kept getting cheated in golf and losing money. So he created a golfing app, and a friend of mine, my best friend Burvick, we were literally just like watching him put this together. And you know, we were around him a lot, and it sparked something in you know, my friend and I to say, you know what, let's create our own app. Let's see where that goes. And then also too, at that time, you didn't see a lot of people of color in tech. So we were like, let's try to create something that you know, for the culture. And FacePop was the first app that we created, which allows you to be able to make self-made emojis featuring your face. So that was the first app, and once we got into that tech space, it was very, very interesting. People of color, we just don't have access to capital. That's just what it is. So being in those meetings and being around these VCs and, through my friends, I was able to meet Jack Dorsey. I think he was almost 2 or 3 years from leaving Twitter. So my friends and I, my two business partners, we actually flew to San Francisco, went to the Twitter headquarters, sat with Jack Dorsey and pitched him Face Pop, and he liked it, but he was just like, right now Twitter is moving away from, Twitter is going in the direction of politics and information. But it was just interesting to hear that, and then here we are. You look at X or Twitter or whatever it is strictly political on every level. But for me, it was just like, hey, why not me? Why not us to be able to push something out there for the culture, and say hey to the young, black and brown kids, hey, if you have an idea, surround yourself with some good people and, put something together. And that's what we did. We actually bootstrapped and raised money. We actually put our own money into it. We actually got an app out into the iOS. But once again, when you don't have capital and finding out how fast you can burn through money, when you are putting an app together, it was our first time, but it was a great lesson learned for sure. So I just try to encourage kids nowadays that hey, if you have an idea, go for it. I think now with AI coming in, it'll write code for you. So if you're able to kind of get on top of that and know what framework you want, and then researching what is it? Not the AI, but the code that you want. You can be able to put something together. But I think for me, it was just really saying, hey, why not me? Why not be that change? Or why not be that spark for somebody to look at me and say, hey, listen, I'm not a technical savvy guy. I have an idea, but I was able to get with some other people who are smarter than me to kind of help me and lead me to, hey, this is how you get an app. This is the framework. You can start pulling things and putting it together. So, that's what it was for me, man. It's just being around somebody who is creating an app, getting inspired, and saying to myself, why not me? And
I think more people need to hear these messages, truly. For us that are looking to build our careers and become more involved in the community, obviously this is a start for us. What are some ways that we can connect, whether it be going to events or even just community involvement that you see growing up here that can really benefit us?
I think for me, it started with, my journey is different, man. I've worked jobs, like, my mom will tell you, I had a job. There was not 1 year I did not have a job, whether it was 1, 2, or 3 jobs. And working those jobs, you meet people. And then you start talking to those people. And you just strike up a conversation, So that's, never be afraid to spark up a conversation. You can literally go online, you can go on Instagram and find out what's going on in a community just like that. And just get involved. That's what I would just say, like, literally, there's something always going on. Somebody is either doing a food bank drive or somebody's doing something. And just get involved. I think for me it was just very easy for me to get involved because I'm from this community. And some of the people that I grew up with were putting these events on. One of the guy that I graduated with from high school is now the principal at Dorsey High School. So that is, anything that he has going on, he can reach out to me. I told him I'll come and talk to the kids and bring them to the set and things of that nature. So it's just about, getting yourself involved into the community and making a difference. I think for me, I just wanted to make an impact somehow, somewhere. I wasn't looking to do anything big, but just showing up. I think once you show up and your intention is clear, of wanting to help and be a part of, whether it's cleaning up or talking to kids, I think if you're able to reach one child or one teen, I think, you've done your job. And that's what it has been for me, is just to, just insert myself into my community and give back what it's given me. And that's just been the mindset of, my whole journey and life purpose, is to really just give back. I'm blessed to work and have several jobs and, be on a hit show that's been running for 7 seasons, which is rare. So, it's just like really giving back. And I think that's what was instilled in me as a young kid, is that, you just give back because you've been so blessed. And, I just want to be a blessing. It's a blessing to be a blessing. That's how I look at it. It's a blessing to be a blessing. And that's how I go forth in life, man. So, yep.
It was an amazing opportunity to speak with you. We appreciate your insight. We look forward to seeing what you do on the screen and also in the community here. It was great to connect with you.
Likewise, man. Appreciate you, brother.
You're watching 24/7 Live Culture.